Hi, I'm Mary Beth McKenna. I'm the Manager of Rules and Competitions with Golf Canada. I'm here to offer you some insight on the rules of golf and the different roles that you'll encounter as a caddy and the different scenarios you may encounter out on the golf course. There may be some different situations out on the golf course where you have to assist a player in searching for their golf ball. You're permitted to do so under the rules, but please ensure that you do not move their ball. This rule may surprise you a little bit, but you are permitted to place the player's clubs in the hazard, a hazard being within the margins of the water hazard or within a bunker. As a caddy, you are permitted to repair old hole plugs or to fix ball marks on the putting green. As a caddy, you are able to move loose impediments around the golf ball. A loose impediment may be a leaf or a piece of grass. Similar to a loose impediment, you are permitted to move a movable obstruction. A movable obstruction is a man-made object, which could be a pop can or a rake. If your player's ball comes to rest on a cart path or an immovable obstruction, they're permitted to take free relief. As a caddy, you want to help your player determine what that nearest point would be. It will depend on if they're a right or a left-handed player. As I'm a right-handed player, we're going to take relief and determine which one would be the closest point on the right or the left side of the cart path here. I'm going to just put a nearest point here, giving myself free and clear of the obstruction. And on this side of the cart path, I'll place the tee here. As you can see, this is my closest point for nearest point of relief, so I'm permitted to pick up the ball. The player may clean the ball in this instance. From this nearest point, you're going to take one club length. With that one club length, you can use the longest club in your bag. So I'll use a driver. So I want to make sure that I'm not going any closer to the hole. I'll put that down and I'm going to drop within that one club length. You want to make sure when you're dropping the ball that you're standing erect and your hand is out, your arm is extended. And you're just going to drop the ball. Once the ball comes to rest, the ball is in play. If a player's ball has entered the water hazard, which are defined by yellow stakes, your player has a few options that they can utilize. So if it's just here in the long grass and they want to play the ball, they're permitted to do so, but just make sure you tell your player not to ground their club in the hazard when they address their ball. They also have the option to go back from where they last played, or an additional option is to go from that point of where they entered into the hazard, and keeping in line with the flag stick, they can go back as far as they want on a line and drop the ball in that spot. If your player's ball may be lost outside of a water hazard, for example, over here in the left woods, you're going to want to give them another ball. Preferably, you'd want to mark it in a different fashion than the original ball, or give them a different number. And ask that the player play a provisional. They must tell their fellow competitor that it is a provisional, so it still gives them the opportunity to hit their original ball if it is found. If your player's ball enters into a lateral water hazard, which is indicated by these red stakes, there are 5 options. We'll run through the more commonly used options that a player may use. So if you, similar to the water hazard, which are the yellow stakes, you can go back on a line, taking the point of entry and the flag stick, going as far back as you want. You can play from where you last played the ball. Additionally, you may also play within the water hazard. Again, make sure that you do not ground your club when you address the ball. The most commonly used relief option for a lateral water hazard would be taking 2 club lengths from the point of entry, and I'll just demonstrate it now. You'll take your 2 club lengths from the point of entry, so you can mark the point of entry. You'll measure out your 2 club lengths. Make sure it's no near to the hole. Then you're going to want to drop within these 2 club lengths for under a one-stroke penalty. When your player hits their ball onto the putting green, you want to encourage them to mark the ball so as not to interfere with another player's ball. A few key things when marking the player's ball. The player should put the ball marker directly behind the ball, and then they may pick up the ball. As a caddy, you can clean the ball for them. When replacing the ball, putting the ball back into play, they should put it in the exact same spot from which they picked it up, and they can pick up the ball marker directly behind the ball. We've just touched on a few basic rules. The rules can be quite comprehensive, so if you're uncertain of how to proceed in a golf competition, ensure you contact a rules official. Out of competition, if you would like to learn more about the rules of golf, visit the Golf Canada website.